Welcome to the magical journey beyond mediocrity, where the mystical and the practical become aligned. You're listening to Meant for More, the Seeker's Guide to Success, with your host, Seeker's Guide and coach, Kristen Lloyd. Kristen guides you through mindset shifts to increase your consciousness and live your best life. So let's leave mediocrity behind and step into your magical, magnificent life with Kristen.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Meant for More Seeker's Guide to Success show. I am your host and Seeker's Guide, Kristen Lloyd. Thank you all for being here and tuning in for today's show. It's going to be another awesome one. And if you don't already know, I am going to share with you that we are now on iHeartRadio. So you can listen to all of our previous episodes on iHeartRadio and the iHeartRadio app by looking for the Meant for More show. Yay! This is episode 18 of the Meant for More Seeker's Guide to Success show. And my very, very special guest is my dear friend, Natalie Guerin. Natalie is a business manifesting coach. She helps women entrepreneurs manifest more clients and money by helping them get into alignment. Welcome, Natalie.
Hey, thank you so much, Kristen, for having me. This is I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited that you're here. I'm so excited that you said yes.
Yes is the way to go.
Yes is the way to go. As we begin this Meant for More show, and clearly our theme is manifesting your more, and so more is our theme for today. I want to know about your journey to more. How did you get to where you are, and when did you recognize, like, hey, I'm meant for more?
Oh, that's a great question. I love that. When I was about 5 years old, I had this thing in me that said there has to be something better. And I always believed that there was something more out there, that there was something greater. And it was always like, there's something I'm supposed to be doing and I'm not. And it was an inner drive. And I've had that ever since I was like 5 years old. And that's how I knew that something was really, I was meant for more. But, you know, are you delusional? Are you like, and all of that? And how do you actually find your more? And as I grew up and I did all the right things, I went to university and I studied math and all of that. And I got a job and, you know, it was all very exciting for a while. And then it was like, well, where's my more?
You studied math? God bless you. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Math and computer science at University of Waterloo, which is one of the toughest universities in Canada. It's one of the toughest programs you'll ever take.
Wow. Wow. How did you go from math to more, or from more to math?
From all of that to this?
Yeah.
It was all very exciting for a little while, and then I got really bored, and I went into massive depression. Because it wasn't enough. It felt like I was really, it's almost like you're living from a place of, okay, it's good enough, but it's not exciting. And there's that thing that's calling you, but you don't even know what it is that's outside of yourself. And so I think at times it can cause depression, and depression is just repressed potential. And I didn't really know what to do about it. But then I had a friend of mine who committed suicide, unfortunately. And I always say that his last breath gave me my first. Because when he died, I went over the edge and I said, okay, I'm going to get help and I'm going to do whatever it takes to manifest a better way to live my life. And That's exactly what I've done. And I've taken steps along the way. I've gotten help. I've taken workshops. And it wasn't an easy journey, and it was definitely not a very clear path. And one day I walked into a psychic evening where people were talking about like doing a spirit circle, and I thought, well, this is weird, but it's Halloween, so I thought it was kind of okay. And at the end of the evening, one of the psychics said, well, who has a message for someone? And very distinctly in my right ear, I heard, Natalie, tell this person this and this and this and this. And I thought, wow. And that was the beginning of me finding my path and my more in my own life, being able to say, okay, this is where it's going. And it was a feeling of, this feels so right to me. I have no choice but to do it. And it was also not just not having a choice, but a strong desire to move down that path. And from there, things started to shift very quickly. I started becoming a lot more spiritual. Not that I wasn't before, but this was the first time in my life that I was acknowledging it. I was praying for the first time. I made peace with my past with respect to what religion was versus spirituality. I moved at leaps and bounds through that. And it was one step after the other. I went to coaching school, and then I discovered Theta Healing, which is a healing modality. And then I just kept going, and it was one step in front of the other. You know, I started my business, and that's been a really incredible journey. And nothing will push you more. And at the end of the day, it's really about remembering who I am in the process and becoming more of who I am and remembering my greatness and my ideal self and allowing that to evolve and allowing the process to come. And now I've been in my business for 16 months. It is my passion. It is my life at the moment. And what I really want for people when I look at it is my mission is to help as many women and men really to be able to walk their light, shine their light into the world and be their own great self. Because I believe that's how we change the world. And it's how I manifest that trickle effect, how I help when I help people, they help others. And it's a trickle effect that goes around the world. That's how I got here. Does that answer your question?
Wow.
I'm like, I summarize it like that.
I'm like taking notes over here because, you know, you go to this workshop and it's a psychic workshop on Halloween and you hear something in your ear. Did you have any inclination that you were intuitive or psychic at all?
Okay, yes. But you're
okay.
Gonna laugh. Okay, so because I've had a lot of people pass away on me, and when my friend committed suicide, a year later, it was a really difficult time, like obviously, but a year later, I was lying down in my bedroom, and it was a Saturday morning, and I felt, I felt his presence come to me and kiss me on both cheeks, and he said, "Natalie, you're doing well," and he said it in French because he was French, and I just kept going from there. So I knew that I could see spirits. I just didn't really ever had acknowledged it. When my boss died, who's also a really close friend of mine and my mentor, I could see him walking down the hallways and I could feel him and I could hear him. And I thought, well, this isn't just my imagination. And I had an inkling at that point that I was, but I didn't know to what extent. I didn't know that this was part of my life. And really, honestly, being psychic, it was kind of scary. It's like, well, you're not supposed to go there. The first time I saw Abraham Hicks channel, I thought, this is so weird. It totally freaked me out. I didn't go back. And yet a few years later, I found myself in the bookstore buying their books and falling in love with the whole process. So it's almost like you're pushing away the things that you really love, that you're really attracted to because they scare you. And then when you allow them in, they start to change your life. Right. And yeah, it didn't freak me out though, by the way. When it happened, I was kind of relieved in a way. I was like, this is me.
Right.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
So it felt, and I'm going to use the word, it felt in alignment right away.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was exciting. It was, I had an experience where, I went down and I had quit my job by that point and I was doing consulting work so I could start to kind of start the wheel of change in motion, because that wouldn't have ever happened if I had stayed in my previous work. And I met a colleague for lunch and, I told her what was going on. I told her I was charging for psychic sessions and she looked at me and she was so disgusted with me that I know that it ended the friendship. But you know what? I didn't care because I knew that it felt so right to me that I had no choice but to go there. This was my path, and I knew that. Once I accepted that it was there and I recognized that it was there, I ran full blast with it, and I haven't stopped. And the universe has helped me along the way to make sure that I stayed on that path. So, even times when I've said, I don't want to have anything to do with the spiritual world or the psychic stuff, it's boom, I'm right back in it. Right. And I spend the weekend away doing just that kind of work, or somebody will ask me for a reading, or there's always something coming, bringing me back onto that path. And honestly, I absolutely love it. It's completely in alignment with with who I am. And I think there's so much information out there, and there's so much connection. And if we can bring back the spiritual in our day to day, whether it's like being able to talk to spirits, or to hear intuition, or to see in the future, or to see in the body, or if we can use all of that to bring it back into our day to day life, I think our lives as people would get better. And that's a bit of my message as well as we're manifesting. It's how do you bring that who aspect, if you want to call it that, into your day to day? How do you make it so that you improve your life based on where you're at and where you want, and how to use that magic of the universe, because it is absolute magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I can't even describe the feeling of what it feels like to like be in a room. And 2 months after I had that first message, by the way, and I gave it to someone, and it was very nice. 2 months after that, I was sitting in a room full of 20 people, and one of my teachers said, "Natalie, why don't you go and give messages to the people in the room?" And I did everybody in the room. And, you know, his student, who had been his student for 3 years, looked at me and he said, "I've been doing this for 3 years. You've been doing it for 2 months." And I thought, yeah, I just knew how to do it. I can't even explain that. I was just like, oh, this is who I am. This is what I do. I can do this. This is no big deal. And I absolutely love it. It's the same thing with coaching and theta healing. Theta healing, the moment I sat down in the class, I had no idea what the modality is. And I had been through Reiki and all the other stuff. And
right.
When I sat down in that class, within 5 minutes, I was like, yep, I'm learning this modality, and I don't care that it's going to cost me $25,000.
Wow.
Yeah. That
That's
it was
amazing.
just a certainty. It's the same certainty that I had when I wrote my book. It was really a moment of absolute clarity, and it comes from a place of decision. When I wrote my book, I sat on my couch, and I remember that moment where I said, you know what, it's not just a wish, I'm going to make this happen. And it was an inner knowing and an inner alignment that it doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter that I don't know how to write. I'm just going to learn, and I'm going to keep at it, and I'm going to eventually come through the process, and I'm going to have a book in my hands. And it's the same thing with my life's path, my life's journey. I just know that it is coming. And it's the same thing with my business. I have made that decision. I have that clarity to move myself forward. I don't know how. I don't know what the big picture looks like all the time. But I know that everything is coming in that place. And that's where I have found my more. And there are days, to be honest with you, where I feel like I don't have my more, right? There's always something more. You never stop. You always keep growing. And like right now, I'm working through, and I think I'm learning so I can help others. I always see kind of myself as a bridge between like where people are at, and like, you know, and the woohoo side. How do you use the woohoo side to make it really practical? How do you get people over their abundance blocks? How do you get people to do that? And for me, it comes a lot from my own experiences as I go through that, so I can teach that, so I can help people even more through that process. And I don't think I've ever used the word more so many times in my life.
Well, as you were talking, I was just thinking, you know, we all grow, we're all human. And I think that sometimes as coaches, people tend to put us up on pedestals, and yet through our own mistakes, through our own journey, we learn, like you said, to help others. And I think that those are the most valuable times, is the obstacles that become the opportunity for growth.
Oh, absolutely. And the obstacles are always opportunities for growth. And whether or not we like it, we learn through challenges, and we create those challenges in order to expand.
Right.
Yeah. And the thing about coaches and the whole online world is that somehow people that you want to be perfect, you want to position yourself as like this really strong person, but how do you do that when you're vulnerable as well? And I think that's the fine line between marketing and then showing up as you, completely you. And for me, I fought a long time with that very question: how much do I show up? How much do I share? And the more vulnerable I am, the more I connect with people. And that is my gift. So I can't I can't show you just my strong side. For me, it's important for me to show you my vulnerable side, as well as how I've come through that. And it's how you position it to come through on the other side. You know, I had, as a good coach, as a healer, because I am a healer, what happens is I don't need to have gone through the experiences that you've had to help you in the process, but I can definitely support you in there if I have the tools in my toolbox. And having experience is one thing, having the tools in my toolbox is another, and then having a whole lot of compassion and love to support another human being. I believe that 90% of the work that we do as coaches, as healers, is just to love another person and give them the space that they need to expand. So
Right. I completely agree. And when you were talking about messages earlier, and how the gentleman, the teacher of the class said, I've been doing this 3 years, you've been doing this 2 months.
yeah. There's a lot of jealousy, by the way.
Right. But I think what I hear in that is it's not necessarily a valve that you turn on and off. It's something that comes, or that you, again, going back to alignment, right? You're either in alignment and receiving those messages or not, or if it's something different,
It's a little different with messages, with connecting to, because you can be in alignment with what you desire and the vibration. You have to be in the alignment of, okay, I am receiving messages, but being able to receive messages, to be able to see the future, to be able to read into a body, to heal, what's the key is actually vibration. Because when you're raising the vibration, you're able to connect into that. And that's when your senses, like your third eye, your crown chakra opens up. All of that is about raising your vibration so you can receive the information coming in. Alignment comes with the different things that you want and the different paths. And the more in alignment you are, the higher your vibration is. And that's when you can really access that information. But the accessing of the information that's in there is really sometimes blocked by, there's a lot of beliefs around like healers are bad. It's bad to hear. I have to give up a sense, or, a lot of people took vows and oaths in previous lifetimes that come in and affect that. So that a lot of times that has to just be cleared to allow that channel to come through. But I believe everybody is a channel. Everybody has access to that information, and it's a sense that people just not necessarily have developed over time. And sometimes it just opens up. It's almost like your sense of touch. Everybody has a sense of touch. Some people feel a lot, or some people smell and some people don't. So it's just about being able to develop that sense over time. And in my case, it was just like, oh, I knew how to do this. I'm already doing it. I'm already going up to the light, and I'm doing naturally. And even the training that I'm doing, I already knew how to do it. And maybe that's why I ran with it. I was like, well, I can't believe I already know how to do this. This must be right. And at some level, it's in your cells, right? What you know how to do already, it's within you, and it's in your cells. And it's just like, okay, are you allowing it to come through? And that was just my particular gift, right? Some people will have to work a little bit harder at it. A lot of people get stuck with like the intuitive aspect where they can't see anything. They go up into guided meditation and they don't see it. And again, that changes your vibration, but then they go and I don't see anything. I don't receive any information. And the truth of the matter is the only problem is that they're not acknowledging what they're getting. And in order to receive more guidance, more intuition, you need to acknowledge what you get. And it doesn't have to be in meditation. The universe is always going to find a way to give you information. So if you're asking for guidance, the signs are around you if you're willing to accept them. And if you're accepting them and you're acknowledging them, and then even it's your choice if you act on them. If you do act on them, you're going to get the next piece of information, and then the next piece, and the next piece, and the next piece. And it's continuously grow. Even if you think you have all the information in the world right now, you know,
right.
You're going to learn more. But it's only by acknowledging what you get that you get the next piece. And that's how intuition, how these messages work. So there's people that go to like 10 psychics. There's a lot of people who want to find their more that go to psychics. And usually they come in with one question. When am I going to find the one? It drives me bonkers. But it's really about, you can go to 10 different psychics, ask the same question, and you're going to get 9 out of 10 are going to give you the same answer.
Yeah.
And until you acknowledge and work through that, you're not going to get like the next step.
Right.
Yeah.
And I hear when you're in alignment, or, the finding the one, that's something that I get. I mean, I had that path, right? So that's a story that I've shared, because that took me a long time. And and we're going to get into manifesting, but I think this is huge for manifesting. If you're constantly separate, because this is something that Abraham Hicks teaches too.
Yeah.
If it's something separate, like I'm over here and what I want is over there. I'm over here and what I want is over there. I'm over here and what I want is over there. And so when you're separate from it, you're reflecting that to the universe, and that reflects back to you. So you're still separate.
Oh, absolutely. And it's almost like the way I look at it, and I like the I'm over here, what I want is over there. The alignment is I'm over there and what I want is here. Right? So it's almost like the other side of the street, and you're like, no, I'm going to walk over to it. And when you get in alignment with it, it's all there. And then it's just a matter of allowing it to come into your physical reality. Exactly. So, yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Because I've had some folks lately that I've been working with, and they're like, but my stuff hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah, that's because,
and I'm like, right?
That's because they're focusing on the I don't have it, and their vibration is so anxious, so in discord with what they actually want, that it's hard for them to actually manifest it. And people think that sometimes people misunderstand the law of attraction, because it's not just about thoughts, it's about vibration. If you can get into vibrational alignment with what you want, get into the vibration and get across the street, get into alignment with what I want is here and I'm here, and you can really feel it, that is when your actions will start to lead to results.
I know this, and I know you know this, but our listeners may not know this. When you're talking about vibration,
yep,
is that equal to emotion, feeling the result of the manifestation?
Yes. So, let's say that you there's a whole, so vibration is basically the signal that you're sending out into the universe. So we're all energy, right? So at least that's what I believe. So we're all energy. We're sending out these little signals into the universe, and in
like a notification beacon, beep, beep.
Exactly.
Beep, beep.
Right. And you're at all the times you're in yourself, you're think of yourself as a little broadcasting station. You're just sending this out, and you're sending a message, and it's not always conscious, right? So you're saying, I want to have money or an abundance or whatever it is, or a lover or whatever. And your unconscious is saying, I'm really, really scared of that. There's no way I want it. I'm going to protect me from it. And the vibration is going to be sent out. And it comes generally from a feeling place, but you're not necessarily going to be aware of the feeling. And the feeling is going to determine what gets sent out. And whatever is strongest is going to hit the law of attraction and then get returned to you. Mm-hmm. So if you're sending, and the resistance is all the unconscious stuff, right? Like the stuff below it that you're like, I don't really know if I want it. So I used to use this example a lot. I say I want a relationship. On the other hand, I'm like, it scares me to death because I'm afraid to lose my independence. So which one is going to win? The one that's strongest. And for me, it was the fear. That was the resistance to it, because it was going out like in my little broadcasting station, my vibration of, I don't want it. I want my independence more. And my belief system didn't support that I could have independence and have a relationship. So it was sending out, you can imagine these little vibrations turning into little sperms, right? And these little sperms hit a big mirror, and the law of attraction mirror. And the law of attraction mirror just reflects them back. And they come back and they pick up experiences that match their vibration. So in my case, I manifested men that were unavailable.
Right.
Kept my independence. Yay. Right. Even though I didn't know that right at the time. I was just
right. You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Like when you're talking about clients, like, what scares you the most about getting clients? Because it's the same thing. We're not manifesting what we want because our vibration of it is we're not feeling safe into it. We're not able to feel it. And if we can feel safe into what we desire, whether it's weight loss or clients or whatever else, and we can start to feel it and really feel it at our cellular level, our vibrations start to shift. And that's when our actions start to lead to results. And so, so I guess to answer your question, vibration is determined by feelings, but it also comes from, it's a little bit more complicated because there's beliefs and there's all the past experiences and all of that comes into play. But all of it comes down to safety. and what's keeping you safe and what do you really want. And it's all unconscious. So that's why the resistance work, why mindset work, why healing is so important. Because if you're not getting what you want, there's something in the way. The only time that's different and that you can't manifest something is if you have a life contract that before you came here and you signed a contract that said, well, I'm going to experience this ABC in this certain way. And, and then it's going to take you a little longer to go through it, because life contracts are actually things that you decided to choose before you even came here that you're not even aware of.
Right.
Yeah.
And so would someone hire someone like yourself or a psychic or a theta healer, or what modality would someone look for if they felt that there was a life contract that they were super, super stuck that they needed to get?
Yeah. So I would say the life contract, I wouldn't even worry about that. I would go with the assumption that you are able to manifest what you desire. And that's when you would hire somebody. You would hire a coach, you would hire a healer. In my case, I'm a coach and a healer. So that's when somebody would come to me and say, Natalie, I want to manifest, I don't know, a baby, and it's not happening. Like, what's going on? So we would look at that. We would look at the belief systems. We would get that person into alignment with what they desire. It's the same. And who you work with really depends on who you are and what your belief system is.
Right.
So some people will resonate with Reiki and they just like unconditional love being sent. They'll resonate with a particular healer, or maybe they'll resonate with solution focused coaching, or because there's all sorts of modalities. There's something for everyone out there. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like there's you don't know where to go, try things, try different people, try until you find that thing that person and that modality that resonates with you. Mm-hmm. And, some people, when you say energy work, they'll freak out. Right. And I remember the first time I heard the word energy work or energy blocks, and I thought, well, this is crazy. I'm not going to this workshop. And yet I was so intrigued, but I found the words communication model, and we'll learn how to communicate better in the workshop. So I went to the workshop. But, you have to go with where you're at right now, and all of it leads you to the right place.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I agree. So and I think we might have covered a lot of this, but I'm going to go straight ahead. What does manifest your more mean?
Yeah. So manifest your more is, I like to call it like it's manifesting your own inner beauty. And that those dreams that you have, your truest self and your ideal self in the world, manifesting that part of yourself so that you can experience it in this life. And the beauty with all of that is that it keeps expanding. It keeps going beyond where you are right now. And right now you might be dreaming of a business or a lover or whatever it is, or weight loss. And once you get there, there will be more for you after. There's always something more. And it's about manifesting your truth and experiencing as much as who you truly are in this lifetime as you can possibly do. And manifesting refers to the art of co-creating with the universe. And I say universe, but I really mean the energy of creation, God, who, whatever you're comfortable with, again, use where you're at in the process. But it's about the co-creating with the energy of creation to turn your ideas into your reality. So you turn your desires for a better life, for your dreams, into reality by co-creating it with the energy of creation. And that means that you're playing with it, the energy of creation is working with it, and the people around you are working with you to make that happen. And actually, I don't want to say working, I want to say playing with you to make that happen. And it's really like you're playing with everything to make it happen. It's kind of fun. Mm-hmm. Some things are easy, some things are hard, and but the things that are hard are sometimes our greatness, and we all love a good challenge.
Right.
Sometimes we create that just to have fun, and we love the drama, and we what would happen if I thought about this a lot in the last week. What would happen if I was completely financially abundant and free, and the money was coming in, and I didn't have to worry about it? What would happen? I'd be bored. Right? So what would happen then? I'm like, oh, I got to fix that. Yeah.
Yeah. But then conversely, maybe not conversely, but the people that are like, I want to win the lottery. Those people, what do you, because then what do you do?
There's actually a difference between I won the lottery and actually meaning it. So that's like, where are you? Like your desires across the street.
I get right.
The lottery, but but you're not in vibrational alignment with it. First of all,
Right.
when you talk about winning the lottery, there's like so many beliefs around it. You see people, everybody that wins the lottery goes broke within 3 years, right? If I have a lot of money, what's going to happen? My family's going to want it. Not going to happen. So, and the other one with the lottery is it's like nobody wins, right? It's impossible to win. It's complete chance. So how do you get yourself into alignment with something like that? And it's true for this process that I'm going to give you is true for anything. And there's really 5 steps. You want to hear them?
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask you about how would individuals go about manifesting their more and what the process is. So yes, please go ahead.
Okay. And it doesn't matter what you want. So the first thing is clarity. But not just, I want to manifest winning the lottery, or I want to manifest a business or clients or money and all of that. And it's about absolute clarity, and it's about knowing what you want. And I don't mean the details, just knowing that you have a dream and that's it. You don't have to have a clear picture of it. Just, okay, I'm going to do it. You have to have that decision point and that declaration that says, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this. This is going to happen no matter what.
So I was thinking about conviction, like what you said earlier, know like you know, like you know.
Yeah, but exactly. You have to know, but that comes from releasing the resistance. You can't get into alignment with something. You can't really know until you really release the resistance and you get comfortable with the idea of receiving it into your life. That's the first step, right? Clarity, absolute clarity. Second step is faith. You need to really be able to have faith in yourself and the creator or God or the universe to be able to actually manifest it. Often we've stopped trusting our own intuitions because we've made bad decisions, or so we thought. We need to forgive ourselves and to take our power back and grow our faith back in ourselves. There is a saying that I really like that one of my friends who passed said this, and he said, it's when you have no faith, it's not because you don't have faith, it's just because you're not looking at the faith bowl anymore. You're focusing on the doubt. So it's about being able to say, hey, the faith is there. It's okay, and I'm comfortable with it, and I'm going to live my day-to-day life with that faith. So you need to be able to do that, and that's step number 2, and there's a lot of resistance to that. And when you can do that, you can also start accessing your divine guidance as well, which is really important in order to manifest. Step 3 is to believe in what you're actually doing, and that's the conviction that you're talking about, right? Because it's not enough to just say, I want to manifest and I've declared it. You actually have to believe in what you're doing. And the more you can believe in it, the better it is. So like earlier this week, I was asked the question, do you actually want to have financial abundance? And, I had declared it. I had said I want it, but I had never really believed in it. And I never really said, hey, I really do believe in this. And just by doing that little switch, I can start to feel the vibration of it changing for me. I can feel myself in abundance. I know it's coming. I'm focusing on what I need to do. And it's almost like a sense of peace is coming with it. So that's 3. It's all about vibration at this point. It's all about getting you into energetic alignment. Step number 4 is to take divine inspired action. And I say divine inspired action, but any kind of action will do. And what I mean by divine inspired action, and this is from Abraham Hicks, there's always a path of least resistance. And if you're willing to take it, it's there. And that's about being able to receive the divine guidance and being able to hear it and allowing yourself the opportunity to walk through it. And anything other than that, yeah, you'll probably get there. It might take you a little while. But it's going to be a little bit harder and a little bit more of a struggle. So how can you take the path of least resistance? Doesn't mean that it's no effort. It doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, but you can do it. So many people forget that manifesting isn't just asking and receiving. It is the path of, okay, I'm actually going to do this and it's going to go out into the universe like in this particular way. And action is so important. You have to do your part. And there's times in manifesting where you can have a thought and it can go out into the universe and it's like it totally happens. And it happened for me last week. I wanted more feedback in my business. And I just had the thought, I'm like, oh, that would be really nice. It went out into the universe and I started getting feedback. Like people email me back that I had never heard from before saying, I really liked your course. I really like this. I really like that. And it's been coming in from all sorts of places. I was obviously in alignment with it. It wasn't a big deal and I wasn't stressing about it. I wasn't focused on what I don't have. It's not like money, right?
Right.
And that it was easy. It was just like, it happened like this, right? But when you're this other stuff, the stuff like getting clients, getting love, you're going to have to do something to move yourself forward. And there is a path of least resistance. But if you can't hear it, you need to take action, because that will help your vibration. It'll help you tell the universe you mean business. So you can't just sit on your couch and say, oh, I'm going to manifest a partner, and then never go outside, never do anything to interact with people. Then you're never going to meet someone. If you want something to happen, you need to do your part. Is it always the case? No, but your chances definitely go up when you start to take action. And then number 5 is very simple, is to do something to make sure that your vibration is at the right place every single day. And I don't mean spending 24 hours a day meditating, because I think that would just be silly. Ooh. I really think that vibration, if you can clear your thoughts for about, like, even, they say Abraham Hicks has 58 seconds. So 1 to 2 minutes, taking 1 to 2 minutes to breathe and reconnect. And then just telling the universe what you want and what you want to experience, and feeling it and bringing that into your being, your vibration goes up and you start to feel better, and life just gets so much easier. And by the way, it's really nice to live life when you feel good. It's kind of crappy when you feel crappy.
Right.
And that problems just get so much easier. And, people say that there's too many problems in life. And the truth of the matter is that problems are what we are here for. We love problems. So stop stressing over them. You'll fix that one. You're a problem solver. Get over it and then find a better problem. I heard that from Tony Robbins last week, and I thought, oh, that's brilliant. I don't have to stress over anything. I'm a really good problem solver. I just have to solve the problem. That's it.
Right.
And there'll be another one once that problem's over. Once my business is a 6-figure business, and even $1 million business, it's just going to be, there's going to be something else. There's always going to be something else. Maybe it's going to be love. Maybe it's going to be, there's always going to be something more that's coming.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's funny that you said you heard that from Tony Robbins last week, because I was listening to his podcast, and I got something. The problem is not the problem. Your perception of the problem is the problem. Like how
Absolutely.
how you think about it, how you feel about it. And, that's what makes it bigger, right? If you focus on the problem, it will get bigger. If you focus on the solution, the problem will get smaller.
Absolutely. And you also have to believe that there is a solution.
True. Yes.
So I used to work in IT, and my job, I don't want to say shit on this air. I hope it's okay.
You can. We've had some lovely other people on here who.
I was the shit picker upper. So I was known as the person who would pick up failed projects and turn them around. I would pick up technology that people didn't know were possible, and I would make those things happen. I did everything I could, and every single time it happened, I would take a team that was completely demoralized, and I would help them to run in the right direction. I didn't see it as a problem. I saw it as an opportunity to solve a problem.
Right.
And I think it's the same thing. It's different when you're working for someone else than when you're working for yourself, though. But it's the same thing. If I can bring that energy into the now, it gets me a lot more creative. Like, okay, things aren't working. What's actually the question I'm trying to solve? And then how do I move it past that? And what do I need? And maybe I need to Google it. Maybe I need to ask for help. Maybe I need a coach. Maybe I need to hire hands to help me out. So I need to get out of that. And that, that place of creativity that comes, it comes from clearing all the stuff and all the fears that the problem is going to overcome you. So especially if you're struggling with finances or love, you're kind of feeling like this is never going to happen. It's like what I want is over there and I'm over here. And when you're over here, what happens a lot of the times is that your creativity isn't open up. You're just so closed. You're just so in the wrong vibration that it can't even come to you. You're not hearing any of it, even though the universe is trying to help you. So you need to clear that, start to even walk towards your goal, even a little bit, and the creativity will come. And that's the shift in perspective. It's almost like the shift of perspective is creating a vibrational change. And you don't need to make it like a huge thing. Tony Robbins says this, and he says, this is really smart, actually. If you just want to change the way you feel about something, at any moment in time. You just have to get up and like move around and change your body and maybe open up your arms. And if you're doing that as you're trying to solve a problem, right there and then your ability to solve that problem is going to go up tenfold because your energy is moving again. And when you're closed up and you're frustrated and you're hunched over your desk and you're trying to solve that problem, right? And I have a vision of a math problem at the beginning. It's not going to work because you're not open to receiving. So you need to change the energy, shift it up, and then open things up. People have breakthroughs when they go for walks, when they go to the gym or a bike ride, or they sleep at night and they have a dream. It's because they've opened up their energy channels and they're allowing that to come through.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I love that. And I completely agree because I do that a lot with my clients as well. And once they get in motion, everything tends to shift.
Yep.
Of these 5 steps that you gave us, which one is the most important?
I'm going to say clarity. You need to have absolute clarity that what you want. And I don't mean that you need to know in detail how it's going to happen. You need to decide what you want, and you need to release the resistance to it. You need to be able to feel it. It is the most important step because the rest of it, once you know and you can feel it, the rest of it will come naturally. You'll start to take action. You'll start to work and walk towards your goal. The second most important would be the vibrational aspect, where you focus on that goal every day and you get yourself into that right vibration every day. Because the more you can do that, the more you will progress in your manifestation. But if you don't choose what you want, if you don't know what you want, and if you can't feel it, manifesting all of that is going to be extremely difficult. I would say that it can't happen. And it's really the first step to manifesting anything. It's I say it's 5 steps, but it's really more of a system, and it's a wheel, and all of these things are happening all at the same time every day. So, but that it really stems from this one place. If you don't know what you want, you can't manifest it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So absolute clarity. That one.
So what would someone do when they don't know what they want?
Okay. So often what happens with that is what they're really thinking is, I know what I want, but I can't figure out how to actually get it. So
can we give like a practical example and have you walk us through it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So actually what I'm going to do is have people, if you're up for it, I'm going to have people just close their eyes for a moment.
Okay.
And take a deep breath. And I'm going to invite you, if you're listening, to would you like to receive unconditional love? I'm going to send you a healing. So creator of all that is commanded to send unconditional love to this person. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Show me. Show them. If you could do anything, what would you do? If you could be anyone, who would you be? What would you have? First thought, first feeling, no judgment. Allowing the pictures, the images to come through. Maybe there are words, maybe it's just an inner knowing. And you're going to open your eyes and you're going to take a moment and write down what you received. So, Kristen, what would you do? Who would you be? What would you have? First thought, first feeling.
First thought, first feeling. And it's funny because before I did this, I was thinking, let's go to Hawaii. So the first thought I had was a house in Hawaii.
Great. No judgment, right? And you're probably thinking, how do I make that happen?
Yeah.
So that's the resistance, right?
Right. Well, and initially what I was thinking of was the belief of that knowing and not necessarily the how. But when I was going through like faith, looking at this decision, faith, trust, believe in what you're doing. I'm like, I was going into the how, like, do you book tickets? Do you look at houses? Like those are the things that I was looking at, which is the how, which is, because one of the other things that I heard, because I've read and watched and listened to a lot of manifesting is I've heard people say, the big stuff, like $1 million. I heard someone say this recently, $1 million I can picture, I can see, and I resonate with. But $1,000 I knowingly resist.
Okay, and I don't believe that. I think that's bullshit.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I didn't say it. Somebody else said it, but I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't believe it. How do you picture $1 million? Even thinking about it now, what does it physically look like? How many bills would that be? That's $1,100 bills. How much space does $1,100 bills take?
Not much.
Okay. And what would that look like in front of you? Would it be a shoebox? Would it be 2 shoe boxes?
Yeah, probably 2, like 1.5.
Okay. I would say actually, it's probably 1.5. So it's like a couple of piles. Can you imagine yourself with that money in your pocket right now?
Yeah.
Okay. And what would it look like to you? What would it feel like? What's the worst thing that can happen to you with that money in your pocket?
What's the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah. What's your worst fear about having that money in your pocket?
Oh yeah. And it goes back to what you said about lottery is that that someone else could take it.
Someone else can take it. It's not possible. And that's why I say the $1 million. If he can't imagine $1,000, the $1 million he can't imagine. Not fully. He's not in line with it. He can kind of go, oh, this would be fine. But the fears are still there because the same fears are there that they would be actually with $1,000. And if we were to clear the $1 million fears, his $1,000 fears would be gone. The other thing I would say is, would you like to know what it feels like to receive $1,000 in your life today? That it's possible, you know how, and you already have. That's feeling work. Would you like to know what it feels like to do that today?
Absolutely.
And whoever the listeners are, if you're listening and you want this download, go ahead and say it. And say yes. So creator of all that is, make it happen. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Show me. Show them. And I just saw somebody go, yes.
Yeah.
Some of you might get extra money today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but asking those questions, because this is what I think is so amazing about this. So freaking amazing is that these questions are helping uncover blocks that people didn't, or limiting beliefs that people did not know existed. So whether it's $1,000, a house, a baby, a partner, when you ask these questions, okay, now I have it. What are the feelings that come up now that you have it? What are the fears about having it? So what's so interesting is I had a client who was trying to manifest her ideal partner. And we did a similar exercise. And she was repelling it because she said, well, I'm afraid he's going to cheat on me. Because that was what she had in the past, right? And so that reflected her fears. And so again, releasing that assumption, releasing that fear, and that was what was repelling her from bringing someone in. Or if she did bring someone in, that's exactly what happened because that's what she was attracting.
Exactly. Because her vibration is, I'm afraid, I'm over here, I'm over here. And if I go over there, somebody's going to cheat on me, right?
Right. So in terms of clearing that, is it just a declaration?
Oh, no. It depends on the healing modality. It depends on what the belief is. In my perfect world, it's not just a declaration. And the way I work, and not everybody works that way, it's about about releasing it. It's often about forgiveness, releasing the energy, but also about keeping the learning. So if you manifested sickness or if you manifested a partner that cheated on you, what did you learn from it? Why did you manifest that in your life? And if you can really get down to it and really get out of the bullshit and go, okay, I manifested because I needed to learn how to have respect for myself, how to grow, how to say no, to have limits and all of that. And you can say, you know what, I'm keeping the learning and then I'm releasing the obligation for this type of experience to teach me. That's when things start to shift.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then you go. The other thing that happens is people say, well, I'm going to just clear the fear. And the fear is never the fear. You need to go below the fear until you find the root cause. And when you go to the root cause, and it's almost like you go to the bottom of the tree and you pull that root, then, you're affecting the whole tree. And that's when things start to really shift. That's when you start to really see a change. People tend to just look at the surface stuff. But it's never about the money. It's never about the experience that you have. It's about what's underneath. And that's why it's so important to get help. It's hard to do this work on your own. It's hard to feel on your own, because then it's hard to feel something you don't want to feel. Like, even for myself, when I get really stuck, and, I have a healer that I go to because I need to feel it. I need to be able to dig and go through the process. And, So the deeper you go, the one thing I'm going to say is that people can tend to create a block out of creating blocks. So their entire focus is, I want to clear blocks, I want to clear blocks, I want to clear blocks, I want to clear blocks. And I think that's that's beautiful, but you're creating a reality where you're creating all kinds of experiences to clear blocks, and you're not manifesting and focusing on what you actually want to create. So focus on actually manifesting your life. Clear what needs to be cleared, get in, get out, but don't spend 24 hours a day clearing blocks. It's not going to help you unless it's for a very short, intense period of time, or if it's for something like becoming a healer and you want to become a better healer. There are courses that are 3 or 4 weeks that are actually going to clear that stuff out of you, but you don't want to spend all of your time doing that. There needs to be a balance, and the focus is on manifesting, clear what needs to get out of the way, get into alignment, and then keep going. And the next day, take 10 minutes, get yourself back into alignment, clear more and more of it. With financial abundance block, the way I do it, and it would do the same thing with love. I just haven't done it. It's about 3 weeks of, intense, okay, let's go through it. Let's see where you stand financially. Let's get you comfortable with that $1 million. But first I need to be able to show you how to actually feel it. So I take you through that process. And the more we can do that, the more we can clear. Even releasing the struggle of, I need to manifest more money, the challenge of it, that's something else that we would work on. So it's just a process to go through. And once you've gone through that process, you still need to take action. You still need to know what you want, and you still need to go to bring yourself to that next level. So if you want your house in Hawaii, ask to be shown how this what might need to happen next. If you're not getting the answers from the universe that you need, ask a better, different question. And that's about asking for divine guidance. And a great way to do that, a lot of people are kind of stuck to receive divine guidance. I actually like to use the dominant hand and non-dominant hand. So you write to the universe with the your right hand, if you're right hand dominant, and you answer with your left. And you're actually going to get a lot of really, really cool stuff. And then you kind of have a conversation back and forth between your hands, and it's kind of cool.
You ask with your dominant hand.
And you answer with your non-dominant hand.
Answer non-dominant.
So most people are right-handed, so they would ask a question, what might need to happen next to manifest a house in Hawaii, right?
Right,
and
right.
The left hand, you would answer that, right?
Right.
And you'll get answers, right? And you'll get actions.
Right. Right. Can you give our listeners an action step that they can take today to start manifesting? Or is that action step?
Yeah. I've given them lots, but that's okay. Well, actually, I don't know if I've given them lots. But so if you're listening to this, the first thing that you're going to do is that little exercise where you close your eyes. And you pick one thing that you want to manifest, or 2 things or 3 things, and you're going to say a prayer to the universe. And you're going to say it like this: Dear Creator, I ask for these things in my life. Please help me co-create them. Thank you very much. Oh, that's it.
That's awesome.
That's the first step. And if they want to go to my website, there is a freebie stuff, a free stuff folder. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice for a second. I need to take a glass of water. Oh, this was my worst fear. Okay.
You're okay. You're okay. So they will go to your website and they can download. Is it freebies or free gifts?
No, there's on my website. There's actually free stuff. It's
free stuff. Awesome.
Yeah, and it's called Manifest More. Manifest Now meditation. Ask and it is received. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but it's the third one down, and they can download that. And it's they're going to be able to just call that their daily, like their manifestation into their life. It's a wonderful vibrational alignment as well. It rocks them up through the seventh plane of existence. It is a theta healing meditation. It's awesome. It takes about 15 minutes. I know I talk a lot about a client stuff and how to manifest clients, but that meditation can be used for anything and anything you want in your life. So I would just actually say, just go there, sign up. It's free. You'll love it. And you'll get lots of tips on how to manifest.
Awesome. So if somebody's focused on manifesting a baby or a partner or a new job or anything.
Or health or whatever it is. Yeah.
Health, right?
Yeah.
Wellness.
It will take them through that process. And it's a great place to start. It takes about 12 minutes. And you can just do that on a daily basis. And it's really going to make you feel really good.
I know that this was a question that came up in your Facebook group the other day, but I'm going to ask it. What is your insight on manifesting weight loss?
Oh, great question. Weight loss. All right. So weight loss, the reason that people are fat has nothing to do with us not wanting to be thin, right? We're actually really afraid to be thin. It's about fear and safety. If our bodies wanted to be thin, we would be thin. We've manifested being overweight for a reason, and usually has to do with safety. I'm working with a coach called John Gabriel. It's and their principle is that your body needs to want to be thin. Your gut flora needs to be in alignment with gut floras. You can't lose weight if your gut flora is not there, and that means that you need to rebalance your system. Right. And if you can start to get yourself into alignment with your body wants to be thin, it is safe to be thin. You're managing your gut flora, your taste bud change, and your desires for exercise, your desires to eat healthier, to help you get into alignment with that will actually get you a lot further. One of the things we do with the John Gabriel program is actually 2 meditations a day. We do one in the morning and one in the evening, and actually one in the afternoon right now, which I'm skipping, which I shouldn't. It's about visualization, and I always do it from a vibrational place. So I'm always going up into the 7th plane, and I'm visualizing myself losing weight, becoming more of who I am, being really comfortable, and visualizing being safe, being thin, and also releasing all the resistance to losing that weight, because it's pretty scary, right? Like being for me, I've never been as happy as I've been thin. So if I lose all this weight, will I actually be happy? So releasing that, healing that part of me, so I can allow myself to become thinner in the process. And it's right. Actually, I've lost it's the first time in 7 years that I've actually lost weight.
That's amazing.
I'm not
That's
dieting.
Awesome.
I'm not dieting. I have, there's things that I had to really choose, because you can do all the belief work in the world. And I did this on Diet Coke. And I had done Diet Coke belief work for 5 years because I wanted to quit. And I just couldn't do it. And one day I realized a couple weeks ago that I can want my body, doesn't actually want it. I know that. But until I consciously decide to say no to it, it's not going to change. So I also had to make a choice in the process to say, I'm going to skip it and I'm going to go for something else. I'm going to go for water. And it's about that as well. Because belief work will only get you so far. You still need to say, hey, this is changing.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And it is amazing that I've lost weight. I'm actually really thrilled about that.
That's amazing.
It's weird. I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, this is my back.
That's fantastic.
Awesome. I haven't looked at my butt for years.
Oh my gosh, you're hilarious. So where can people find you? Where are you on social media?
Okay, so I'm on, you can find me at my website, which is natalieguerin.com. It's NatalieGuerin.com. You can find me in Facebook at Natalie's Masters of Manifesting. And, if you want to join me, I'd love it. We have a lot of fun in there, being supportive of one another. And that's where I usually hang out. And I hang out in several groups as well. I'm also on Instagram, and I don't know my handle by heart, but you can find me if you go to my website. There's a little icon at the bottom. And I'm on Twitter as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing all of these amazing, abundant manifesting gifts with with all of our listeners. I'm so grateful that you are here and so blessed. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Kristen. It's been a real delight. I had a lot of fun doing this.
Me too. And I'm so excited for to share this with everyone, because anybody who's not listening live can listen to the replay. So I'm ecstatic. Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you,
listeners.
Yeah, thank you everyone for listening. It's been another great show. To continue the conversation, hop on over to the Seekers group on Facebook, www.facebook.com/groups/The Seekers Path, and to grab your very own free Seekers Guide workbook, head on over to KristenLloyd.com and click on free gifts, and you can download it from there. Until next time, remember that you are meant for more and keep seeking. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to Meant for More, the Seeker's Guide to Success. But the fun doesn't end here. Head over to KristenLloyd.com for your Seeker's Guide workbook filled with exercises to help you go from mediocre to magically magnificent.